So, you've probably been playing around with AI, creating some really cool stuff. But let's be real, there's a huge gap between making something neat and actually building a real income from it. How do you get from one to the other? Well, today we're going to dig into a really smart strategy from Audic Media that focuses on this quiet, powerful way to turn those AI creations into money you can actually count on.
It all kicks off with this exact feeling. You know that moment you hit refresh on your dashboard, and boom, there's your first sale. It's this wild mix of shock and, whoa, that actually worked. Some person out there in the world thought what you made was valuable enough to open their wallet. It's an absolutely incredible feeling.
But that high, that initial buzz, can wear off fast when you realize that one sale doesn't exactly make a business. And that's where the real challenge kicks in, right? The one that hits almost every creator. How do you go from that first surprising dollar to an income that's steady, sustainable, and something you can depend on? So what's the hang-up? Well, the source material argues that the problem isn't your product, and it's not about having the fanciest AI. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what you're even selling in the first place. It's a quiet problem, it's subtle, but figuring it out is probably the most important thing you can do. And that brings us to the absolute core idea here. Your product, that AI-generated template, that ebook, those designs, that's just the vehicle. It's the car. What your customer is really buying is the destination. They're buying a transformation in their life. And the better you get at describing that destination, the more people are going to want to buy a ticket. So this means you got to make a pretty big mental shift. You have to get it through your head that you're not just selling a file. You are selling a better version of your customer. You're giving them a solution to a problem that's been bugging them, a shortcut to a goal they've been struggling to reach. You're literally selling them a new you. Okay, let's make this super clear. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wakes up in the morning excited to go buy a spreadsheet. It just doesn't happen. But you know what millions of people do wake up thinking about? Wishing they finally felt in control of their money. See the difference? The spreadsheet is just the file. That feeling of control, that is the transformation. And that's what people will gladly pay for.
And you see this pattern everywhere. An ebook outline isn't just words on a page. It's the thing that helps a first-time author finally finish their book. Those logo variations, that's not a folder of PNGs. It's giving a founder or brand they can be truly proud of. The resume templates, they're the key that could unlock an interview. And that contract, that's peace of mind for a freelancer. It's always about the human result.
So look, getting the mindset right is one thing. But how do you actually do it? How do you put it into practice? That brings us to what the Sourcers calls the human-first playbook, a simple, actionable game plan to turn this whole idea into actual sales. Now, this playbook is built on 3 really simple but powerful tactics. First up, you lead with clarity. That means focusing your message on your customer's pain. Next, you show up consistently to build trust. And finally, you stay human, using that personal connection as your secret weapon. Let's break down that first one. All right, let's tackle clarity. You know how we can obsess over getting the design of our sales page just perfect? Well, the source makes this fantastic point. Clarity beats design every single time. Your customer cares way less about your fancy graphics and way more about whether you actually understand their frustration. And here is a perfect example of what that means. Instead of talking about features like, this includes 30 ready-to-use captions, you lead with the pain point. Never stare at a blank caption box again. One is a technical spec. The other, man, that hits you right where you live. It's a feeling. And that one little switch can change everything. Okay. On to the second principle, showing up consistently. And let's be clear, this does not mean you need to be screaming, "Buy my stuff," every single day. In fact, that's probably the fastest way to get yourself muted. No, this is about consistently talking about the problem. The most effective content rhythm you can use is this: problem, problem, problem. And then you offer your product as the solution. It's so simple. You spend most of your time just reminding people of their frustration, exploring that pain point in helpful ways. By the time you mention your product, it doesn't feel like a pushy sales pitch. It feels like a welcome relief. And the third part of the playbook is to just stay human. Your product might be made by AI and it might be delivered automatically, but the experience for your customer shouldn't feel robotic. A quick, personal reply to a question. A genuine piece of advice. That stuff is what builds real trust. In a world full of bots, a real human connection is your superpower. It's rare, and rare is what makes people remember you.
All right, so once you've got your messaging, your content rhythm, and that human touch all dialed in, it's time to think bigger. We're talking about the long game. To build a truly sustainable income, you have to think beyond a static, one-and-done product. The real goal is to build something that's, well, alive.
Think about it. A static product. It just kind of sits there. You launch it, and it fades into the background. It's a one-time thing. But a living product, that thing has a pulse. It evolves, it gets better, it stays relevant, and that's what keeps your customers engaged and turns them into actual fans who stick around.
So what does that look like? Well, it could be as simple as adding a free holiday-themed ad pack to your ad copy generator. Or maybe you update your SEO kit because some new keyword techniques just came out. It could even be a bonus, like a new pack of prompts you send to everyone who already bought your product just as a thank you.
And here's the really cool part. This strategy is a 2-for-1 deal. When you announce an update, it creates urgency for new people who might be thinking about buying. They see it's getting better all the time. But it also re-engages your old customers, reminding them that they made a great decision and getting them excited all over again. It's a total win-win.
So, all of this brings us to one last big question. The goal isn't just to sell a thing. It's to create a cornerstone product. Something that solves a real human problem so well that people can't help but talk about it. Something that grows, that stays alive, and that builds a real community around it. So, the question for you is, what problem are you going to choose to solve?